and welcome back to yet another episode of One Take, the first one after the results are out.
एनडीए की लगातार तीसरी बार सरकार बननी तय है.
Relentlessly over the last 1 year and over 100 episodes, we have been tracking all the political developments. We've asked questions also about the Congress party, and also in one of our earlier episodes, I also asked this question that will Rahul Gandhi have to pack up his bags and go? Will clearly not.
हिंदुस्तान के सबसे गरीब लोग, सबसे कमजोर लोग खड़े हो गए और उन्होंने इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बचाया. मैं उनका धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं, उनसे कहना चाहता हूं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी आपके साथ खड़ी है. जो हमने आपको वायदे किए थे, हम वो वायदे आपके लिए पूरे करेंगे.
It's a huge mandate for the India bloc, even though they are not going to be forming the government as of now. But the fact that the Congress has been able to increase its vote percentage and the number of seats, and the fact that at least in Uttar Pradesh, they have been able to take sweet revenge, perhaps explains why the Rahul Gandhi factor will continue to play an important part as far as the India bloc plus the Congress party is concerned. So the question I'm asking this week is, has revenge been delivered, and is this what it was all about? Well, of course, yes, to a very, very great extent. But let's begin with a focus on Raebareli and Amethi. We've been reporting this. Raebareli was expected to be a cakewalk. Therefore, I am not certainly surprised with the huge margin which Rahul Gandhi has won with. But it's Amethi which throws up a very interesting result. And not many of us had perhaps anticipated it. Because Smriti Irani had done work on the ground, but perhaps she was not able to take the support of the party workers. And also the fact is that somehow she seemed to be losing her mojo along the way. It was a huge gamble which was taken by the Gandhi Parivar. And as I had been reporting earlier, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra had made it very clear that she is going to make one such person stand up against Smriti Irani, who doesn't belong from the family, who is in a sense the common man or a common worker, and we will show her the mirror. We'll show her her place. But in that sense, this was what it was, a revenge fight all about. Well, the odds were certainly against KL Sharma because he was a party worker, and there were many party workers who felt that he used to work along with us, so why should we work for him? It took over Priyanka Vadra to try and convince these party workers that he's us. He's almost like a Gandhi family person, and therefore working for him and a vote for him would mean actually a vote for us. Once she was able to get that message across, it became easy for her along the way. Remember that soundbite of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra that I will ensure कि मैं यहाँ से जीत के जाऊँगी. This is her victory. This is the victory of the Gandhi family, and they have taken revenge.
इस चुनाव को जीत के जाऊँगी मैं यहाँ से. मैं आपके बीच आऊँगी, आपके साथ लड़ूंगी, और अमेठी के इस पवित्र धरती में सही राजनीति, सत्य की राजनीति वापस लाने के लिए लड़ूंगी.
So when you see the new parliament set up, and you're going to be seeing KL Sharma sitting along with Rahul Gandhi and Smriti Irani not being there, for them that's going to be the ultimate revenge. Not just against her, but also against the Prime Minister, because on every occasion the PM would point a finger at the Gandhi family and at Sonia Gandhi. In fact, the name of Sonia Gandhi by Smriti Irani and by the PM towards the last day of campaigning is what sources tell me is believed to have irked and upset Priyanka Gandhi. For her, it became a battle to ensure that her mother was given that kind of a respect. When you saw a beaming Sonia Gandhi at the press conference hall, and of course Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, who was certainly not in front of the cameras but was very much around, that was the kind of revenge that they looked at. But there were many other multiple factors which are in place. And let's not just talk about Amethi and Raebareli, which I've just mentioned. When I talk about sweet revenge, it's been one, for example, for the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena faction. They were hurt when there was an Ajit Pawar who left the NCP. That's why Mr. Sharad Pawar was hurt. Then when someone from his own family was pitted opposite his daughter, and the fact that Supriya Sule has won is again sweet revenge. And the fact that in Mumbai, only one seat has been won by the BJP. The fact that the Uddhav Thackeray faction has done much better than the Eknath Shinde faction, that's also a revenge that they seem to have earned. And then when we move across to West Bengal, well, we know the story. For Mamata Banerjee, it was very, very important to prove that she matters. that she still calls the shots. Which is why, unlike in 2019 for 2024, she was the one who took charge. Maximum campaigns, road shows, because she knew this was a do or die battle. In case the BJP had performed better, then in that sense, the narrative could have been lost for the assembly elections. Another revenge was that of Mahua Moitro. She's won with a record more than 4 lakh votes. And remember her last speech in Parliament when she was disqualified. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be back. So in that sense that she's proved herself.
I will fight you for the next 30 years inside Parliament, outside Parliament, in the gutter, on the streets.
But you know, politics cannot be only on the basis of revenge because public memory is short. And therefore the task is much, much more uphill. The enthusiasm to a certain extent is understandable because this is a victory which not many of the numbers they never expected. But at the end of the day, there are more elections which are going to come up. There are more state elections which are come up. They have to ensure that this kind of victory is reflected there. In UP, for example, whenever the state elections are held, Akhilesh Yadav's good performance at the Lok Sabha level, will that be reflected and repeated as far as the assembly elections are concerned? That's going to be their big challenge. Even within the India bloc, now that the elections are done away with, and now that they are clearly not in power, will they still be speaking in one voice? Will they still stand together? Or will the unnatural alliance be falling apart? Will the differences which were till now covered up will start coming out in the open? Well, this is perhaps not a moment to discuss all this because as they say, picture abhi baki hai, and in politics in India is as vibrant as its democracy, which is why many, many more episodes of One Take, and there's lots going to be watched about because they are certainly going to be interesting times again. Do give in your response on the social media timeline. Thank you so much for watching.